Dr. Quentin Merrick was a man of singular obsession. To the scientific community, he was a maverick, a genius with ideas that bordered on heresy. To the public, he was a recluse, his name whispered in the corners of scientific circles. Yet, in his secluded lab on the outskirts of Geneva, Merrick worked tirelessly on what he called Project Aperture. The goal was audacious: to create a teleportation device capable of instantaneous matter relocation. For decades, teleportation had been a staple of science fiction, a dream that danced tantalizingly close but remained out of reach. Merrick believed the key lay not in brute energy, but in quantum entanglement, an exploitation of spacetime's underlying fabric. If he could synchronize matter's quantum state across 2 points, the distance between them would cease to exist. At least, that was the theory. By the winter of 2083, Merrick's prototype was complete. The device, a circular platform encased in shimmering graphene and crisscrossed with superconductor lines, looked deceptively simple. Above it hung the lattice of ionized sensors, the gate as Merrick called it. Months of testing on inanimate objects had yielded promising results. An apple placed on the platform would disappear and reappear mere meters away unscathed. But Merrick wasn't satisfied. He had grander aspirations. The breakthrough came on a bitterly cold evening. Merrick, his fingers trembling with both excitement and fatigue, adjusted the parameters on the gate's control panel. A critical realization had struck him the previous night. If he altered the resonant frequency of the entanglement field, it might allow the device to reach further, perhaps even beyond the Earth itself. Distance, he muttered, is only a matter of perception. He set the coordinates to a theoretical point in space, one calculated using a complex algorithm derived from the cosmic microwave background radiation's subtle variations. The machine hummed, its sensors glowing a faint blue as it built up the quantum field. Merrick placed a titanium sphere on the platform. With a press of the activation button, the sphere vanished. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the gate crackled, emitting a low resonant tone. The sphere reappeared, but it was altered. Its surface shimmered unnaturally, as though it were coated in liquid mercury. More disturbingly, faint patterns, reminiscent of fractal geometries, pulsed across its surface. Merrick's heart raced. This was no ordinary teleportation. Curiosity drove him to analyze the sphere. Spectroscopic analysis revealed the presence of elements unknown to Earth's periodic table. More intriguingly, the sphere emitted a faint energy signature, a signal that seemed to pulse in complex, almost deliberate patterns. Merrick's excitement was tempered by a growing unease. Where, exactly, had the sphere gone? Over the next few weeks, Merrick refined the device, tuning the gate to focus on the unknown coordinates. His lab became a flurry of activity, with tests yielding increasingly strange results. Objects sent through the gate returned altered in ways both fascinating and unsettling. A copper rod came back elongated, its molecular structure rearranged. A camera sent through captured a single frame of an alien landscape before its circuitry failed. A sky split by 3 suns and crystalline spires rising from a scarlet desert. Merrick became consumed by the possibilities. "We are not merely displacing matter," he recorded in his logs. "We are bridging worlds." It was inevitable that he would test the gate on himself. The idea was reckless, bordering on madness, But Merrick's curiosity outweighed his caution. He modified the gate to allow for human traversal, installing biometric monitors and a failsafe system. The night he activated the gate for himself, he felt an intoxicating mix of terror and exhilaration. He stepped onto the platform and pressed the activation switch. The sensation was indescribable. A blinding surge of light enveloped him, accompanied by a sound like the rushing of distant waves. Then, silence. When Merrick opened his eyes, he stood on alien soil. The landscape, both alien and eerily familiar. Merrick found himself on a vast plain, under a sky that shimmered with hues of violet and gold. The air, though breathable, carried a faint metallic tang. Around him, crystalline formations jutted from the ground, refracting the light in dazzling displays. In the distance, Merrick saw movement. He approached it cautiously, his scientific instincts battling his primal fear. What he had found defied all logic. The beings were tall, ethereal entities of light and shadow, their forms shifting as though they were only partially tethered to reality. They moved with a grace that seemed almost choreographed, their actions purposeful but incomprehensible. Merrick realized with a jolt that they were building something, a massive structure of interlocking geometric shapes that seemed to pulse with the same energy as the titanium sphere. As he observed, one of the entities turned toward him. Its eyes, if they could be called that, glowed with a deep indigo hue. Merrick felt an overwhelming sense of being seen, not just physically, but on a fundamental level. The entity extended a tendril-like appendage toward him, and Merrick's mind was suddenly flooded with sensations, images of distant stars, the hum of cosmic energy, and a singular resounding word: convergence. Merrick awoke on the platform, gasping for air. The journey had lasted mere minutes, yet it felt like an eternity. His biometric monitors recorded a spike in neural activity far beyond normal human thresholds. He tried to make sense of what he had experienced, but the images and sensations defied conventional language. The next few days were a blur. Merrick's thoughts were dominated by the word convergence. He pored over his data, trying to decipher its meaning. Was it a warning, an invitation, or something else entirely? The energy signature emanating from the titanium sphere began to grow stronger, its pulse accelerating. Merrick realized with dawning horror that the gate was no longer merely a tool. It had also become a beacon, broadcasting its location across the cosmos. On the 7th day after his return, the gate activated on its own. Merrick watched in stunned silence as the device crackled to life, its sensors glowing brighter than ever before. The air in the lab grew charged, and a low resonant hum filled the room. From the gate emerged the beings he had seen on the alien world, but they were not alone. Behind them, the shimmering outline of the geometric structure loomed, its interlocking shapes now fully formed. Merrick had a sudden realization. The structure was not merely a construct, it was a vessel. The entities had used his gate to establish a foothold on Earth. The lead entity extended its tendril toward Merrick, and once again his mind was flooded with sensations. This time, the message was clear. Convergence is inevitable. As Merrick's consciousness fragmented under the alien connection, he glimpsed the full scope of their plan, the merging of their world and his, a synthesis of dimensions. Humanity was not to be conquered, but assimilated, an evolution beyond individuality. Merrick's body crumpled to the floor, lifeless, as the entities began their work. The geometric structure expanded, its crystalline edges slicing through the fabric of space-time. Tendrils of alien light spread outward, filling the lab and stretching towards the distant cityscape before fading to hues outside of human perception. Small holes in reality appeared, most hidden in the surrounding forest, through which glimpses of the alien world could be seen. Weeks later, authorities investigating Merrick's disappearance found his lab abandoned. The gate's platform was cold, its once glowing sensors now dark. But in the center of the room, etched into the floor, was a symbol, a fractal geometry that seemed to shift and shimmer when viewed. Rumors spread of strange occurrences in the area, people vanishing without a trace, bursts of violet light seen on the horizon, and whispers of an otherworldly hum that filled the air on certain nights. The region was quietly quarantined, declared unsafe due to unstable ground conditions. Far beyond the lab, however, the shimmering fractures in space-time continued to expand, unnoticed by the wider world. Yet, for those attuned to the subtle shifts in reality, the signs were clear. The convergence had begun, and humanity's place in the cosmos was about to change forever. In the stillness of the abandoned lab, a cosmic hum persisted, now a part of the alien harmony that resonated across dimensions. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to help feed the dark machine.